We're good. I can die tomorrow.
Die in peace.
So speaking of this, I'm still continuing on One Piece, right? And then we finally got past Skypiea, so they finally got past that. The warrior scene was so touching at the end with Noland, and then they land. As soon as they land, I think they were like flying on an octopus, and then they land inside a base, in the middle of base. And I was like, I don't really remember this. I look it up, and it's filler, and I was like, I can't waste my time on filler. I have like 700 more episodes to go to catch up to this rewatch. So I skipped that, and then when I skipped it, it's funny because I guess the way they got out of that base is with the octopus again. So yeah. Then the canon starts with the octopus. They're flying it like a hot air balloon. Like they have fire going up on the octopus to keep its air up, and then it drops them into the ocean, and then they and now they're in Water 7. So it's pretty good.
So so they did use the octopus to leave that marine base, but the marine base is a filler arc.
That's
right?
a filler, yeah.
Where like Sanji helps that lady chef or whatever, and like all the other stuff happens.
Yeah, I watched all of this already once, and then this is me rewatching it like 10 years later. Yeah. So I don't really remember it, but I remember it being like 7 episodes long or 6 episodes long or something. Yeah. And I was just like, all right, I can't. I got 700 episodes, so I'm going to have to.
My life is too short to go through filler.
It is, yeah. Because like it's not like Oda didn't write it, so yeah, it is what it is. So I skipped
all the fillers in One Piece. I would say that was probably on the better side.
Yeah.
Probably still not worth it, especially if you're trying to go through the entire series again. Like you're so far in the early stages still. Which is crazy to think about because you're past like 100 episodes in now, right?
Way past. I'm like
past 200.
I can tell you crazy. Now. I'm 235 right now.
Wow. And they're on what episode number are they on right now? Like 800 something, 900 something?
Let me see.
Like including all the fillers.
I gotta scroll down a lot. They're up to 936.
Wow.
So to put that in perspective, I'm at 235 right now. So basically, I'll just give you a quick update where I am, if you remember. So Water 7, they meet the oh my god, I forgot her name already. Kokoro, I think. She's the lady who guards the train. She's at the train, so she gives them the reference letter to Iceberg San, and then who's like the mayor, and then basically they just got the money stolen by Frankie and the Frankie family. Yeah. And then what's it called? I think
the epic scene hasn't come up yet, right? Where they just blow up the house.
They did, yeah.
So that
was like
one of my favorite scenes. Yeah.
That was crazy. Where Usopp just gets the shit kicked out of him by these guys. The money gets stolen. He's like crying to Nami. He's like, I'm so weak. I can't face these guys. Like just because I'm so weak, and they just took the money. Like everyone was counting on me to get the Going Merry fixed.
Yeah, that was sad.
And that was very touching, bro. And then she leaves him there, and then she's like, all right, you stay here. I'll go back to the ship. And then by the time Sanji, Zoro, and Chopper get back, he's gone, basically. And he's like walked away to go to the Frankie house. So he shows up. He blows up the door with his slingshot, and he shows up. He's like, I need the money back. He's like trying to fight them, and then they just wreck him, bro. They wreck him, and then they throw him outside.
That was nuts. Yeah.
And then when Luffy and Zoro and them, they all see him there, like
because they really beat the shit out of him. I remember, like you haven't seen a beating like that in that show.
It was crazy. I mean, Usopp's got beaten up pretty bad actually. Because remember when
like in the Alabasta arc, I guess, when he was like all bandaged up and everything.
Dude, they were dragging him by his feet, the mole chick, and and then the huge fat guy had his 2-ton bat.
Oh yeah, he swung
broke
it,
his nose.
cracked it.
He hit him like several times,
This
and she was
man.
bashing his face into walls the whole time, and he was literally like in a full body cast after that. You remember?
Yeah, I remember that now.
He's crazy. He recovers so well. I don't understand. And then they beat him up pretty bad. I think it's not as bad as Alabasta, honestly.
I guess so. Yeah, it was pretty bad, especially considering like the Frankie family is not even like bad guys. Or anything.
They're like bounty hunters, and they're like they're just
they turn out to be good later. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, Frankie joins the crew. Spoiler.
Yeah.
But what's it called? So where it's up to right now is they see Usopp, and then they get super serious, right? So Luffy pulls his hat down. Zoro takes his bandana off. He starts putting his bandana on. Yeah. Sanji lights a cigarette, and Chopper turns into his Brolic form.
Yeah.
And they just fuck shit up. They go in there, like this giant comes out of the door because they're like partying with their money, bro. They're like partying hard. And this giant, they send this giant dude out to go buy food. And then Luffy, basically, he opens the door. Luffy punches him in the face and busts the whole place down. And then they go in there. They're like trying to fight back. They're like shooting them with cannonballs and stuff. Yeah, Zoro's chopping them up.
He's literally chopping the cannons, yeah.
Sanji's breakdancing on their faces. And then Chopper's using his horn point, and he just like tossing everyone like a giant moose, just like destroying everyone. And then they literally blow up the house. I remember before Luffy was like, yo, we're going to destroy this place, essentially. And then they blew it up. The house is like, they're like standing on the ashes, like that scene from the Dark Knight. After Rachel dies, the Batman is standing on the ashes holding the coin. They're just standing over there, and they're like, all right, let's go back to the ship. Let's get them all fixed up. And I think
Luffy makes his announcement at that point, if I recall, right? That they're going to
at the end of the thing, he's like, yeah, we're gonna say goodbye to the Mary here, which is crazy sad. It's like
so many epic scenes happen in that arc now that I'm like remembering it, because the Usopp versus Luffy fight was epic. Like that was the first time like Usopp really just stepped up and like went toe to toe with Luffy for a fair bit of time.
I mean, Luffy was holding back, obviously.
Yeah, obviously, but still, like, you haven't seen like Usopp fight like that at all up to that point.
Well, he has to go all out. Yeah.
Yeah, he used all the gear he got from Skypiea and stuff.
Yeah, impactiles.
Super ingenuitive, yeah.
Yeah, and then essentially, I think right before that, Robin disappears. Right, CP9. They meet up with CP9 in disguise. They're the shipwrights, the foreman of the shipwrights.
Yeah.
So it's like the dude with the square nose who looks like Usopp.
Oh, because they were agents. Yeah.
Yeah. So this it's the dude who jumps around and flies everywhere throughout the city. And then you got Lucci, which is the pigeon dude who turns out to be
the leader, right?
Yeah. And then I think Paulie, the rope guy, isn't an agent. I don't think
he was not. Paulie was a good guy.
Yeah.
I remember. The other
three, and then the secretary. Yeah, the secretary.
Was, and then the Bluno guy, the guy with the horns, and he had the door fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm up to that part where he decides he's gonna say goodbye to the Mary. So
oh my god! And this arc is when Luffy finally gets gear second.
Yep. When he fights
the
those
shit
guys.
out of Bluno.
Yep.
Man, and so many epic scenes. Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks like you got to rewatch it. I mean, you're kind of living through this vicariously through me.
I might as well.
My recaps. So basically, I think. This is also where he fights the world government, where Nico Robins gets captured.
They just burned the government flag down.
You got fucking Soge King coming through because Usopp leaves the crew, and then he comes back as Soge King, and they accept him back. And then, yeah, dude, I remember that whole shit was crazy. He's like, hey, burn a hole through that flag, and he shoots the fire thing through the flag, the world government flag.
Yeah,
that was so epic, dude. And
because the leader of CP9 was like, do you know what this means?
Yeah, the elephant gun guy, where he's like, he has a gun that ate the elephant fruit or something.
Oh, yeah. I don't even remember what his name is.
I don't know. But he has his face thing.
Because he got his face all messed kicked up. In, right?
Yeah.
Like earlier on in the story.
So he has this giant face mask and stuff. Like it's crazy. And then they figure out a way to give objects devil fruits. So his gun has an elephant devil fruit.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah. So yeah, man. So I'll recap the rest of it later.